In this video, I will demonstrate some tips and tricks for using DALL-E 3 with ChatGPT-4. To use DALL-E, you'll require a Plus subscription and must utilize version 4, as version 3.5 doesn't support DALL-E. It's essential to note that you're restricted to 30 messages per 3 hours, or if you have the team version, you'll have a limit of 100 messages per 3 hours. You simply prompt for what you want to create, in this case a cartoon bunny with an egg in a watercolor painting style. Now, if you're satisfied with what you received and wish to create a new one with a green egg, you can specify in the prompt that you want to use the same seed. Now let's try another one with the same seed, but this time let's make the egg blue. As you can see, the blue and green ones are almost the same character, with only the egg being different. However, when I prompt for one with an orange egg, it's slightly different, but still very similar to the first one. So, with the same seed, you get a slight variation of the image. Sometimes they're very similar, but other times not so much. Let's delve deeper into understanding the seed. After generating the first image, I'll edit my prompt and ask for the seed and image generation ID. ChatGPT will then provide me with some text. The generation ID is composed of both text and numbers, while the seed consists only of numbers. For instance, if you have these numbers, you can use them to refer to specific images. Here, I attempted to recreate the same image using those numbers, but it was one of those moments when ChatGPT got lost. So I tried again using the word regenerate, and I was able to regenerate the exact same image. With the generation ID, you can refer to any image you generate, but only within this session. Therefore, you can go back, find your generation ID, and refer to that image when you want changes. For example, in this case, I used the same generation ID to get a purple one instead of red. I understand that this may seem confusing at first, so let's clarify it a bit to help you better understand. The generation ID, Gen ID, stands for Generation Identifier and is a unique identifier assigned to each image generated by DALL-E 3. It's used to reference a specific image that was created. If you want to create variations or further iterations of that image, you can use the Gen ID to specify which image you're referring to. Think of it like having a specific file name for each image. If you tell DALL-E, I want to modify the image with Gen ID XYZ123, it knows exactly which image you're talking about. This makes it easier to manage and work with specific images within your generated content. A seed is a starting point for the random number generator used in the AI's creative process. The seed determines the randomness of the image generation. If you use the same seed for different prompts, you may notice similarities in style or patterns because the AI's decision-making starts from the same point. Think of it like planting a tree. If you plant seeds from the same apple, you'll get trees that are similar to each other. In DALL-E's case, using the same seed for different images can bring a degree of consistency in style or feel. Here are some key differences. Gen ID is about referencing a specific image already created. Seed is about where to start the creative process. Each Gen ID is unique to an image. Seeds can be reused to generate images with similar styles or patterns. Gen ID is used after an image is created, while a seed is used before or during the image creation process. Let's test it with another example. I will create a cute cartoon dog. Then, if I want to change the ratio of the image, I'll ask to keep the same generation ID and to make it a wide ratio. You can do the same to make square, landscape, or portrait ratios. It's a flipped version in landscape mode, but it's quite similar. Let's try the same, but this time with a portrait ratio. It's very similar, so that generation ID can help you have a little more control over consistency. Let me demonstrate my approach to a project. First, I start with a prompt, giving it a basic idea of what I want. Then I examine the image and decide what changes should be made. I interact with it as I would with another human, using the same generation ID to communicate that I want something as close as possible to that specific image. If I desire a completely different image, I simply regenerate. For instance, here I obtained a similar painting with a red hat. While it's not perfect, the pose and colors are similar with slight changes. I could even go further and create a winter scene with a Santa hat. forming a series of images in a similar style for a collection or set. Additionally, I can add text, though maintaining the exact same image with text is challenging. However, it remains within the realm of style and composition. When prompting for an image, you can include more than just objects and characters. You can also include mood, emotions, and art styles to help the AI understand better what you want to create. For instance, as I did here, you can request an impasto painting of a sad cat in the rain set in a steampunk city. This provides the AI with a clearer understanding of the desired image, incorporating specific elements such as texture, emotion, and setting to create a more nuanced and tailored result. Here I prompted for a night typically associated with the past, but set in the future and in a vector style. This approach allows for the combination of elements not commonly found together, resulting in unique and interesting generations. It knows all kinds of art styles, so you can choose styles that fit your mood and idea better. For example, here I requested a pencil drawing of a hand drawing another hand. Who said that AI is not good with hands? Haha. Well, it's good, but it's not perfect, and definitely DALL-E makes fewer mistakes than other generators. Let's try something cute in watercolor style. As you can see in the prompt, I included the subject, which is wearing a crown, the environment where it's sitting, the adorable look on its face, the emotion it conveys, love, and the mood and lighting, morning light rays. Finally, I specified the art style as watercolor painting. You can add more details if you want, and such as describing the texture of the paper or the frog's skin. The AI has its limits in terms of what it can keep track of, but usually 1 or 2 sentences are enough for it to understand. Here, I was able to achieve a similar look without using the generation ID or seed. First, I expressed that I liked the initial result, prompting the AI to attempt to generate a similar version. Then I specified what to replace in the image, such as the color of the frog. The AI then tried to understand my preferences and maintain them within a certain range when creating the variation. If I had requested another one, it would have provided a completely different image because it was attempting to discern my preferences and generate different versions until I found one I liked. Then I asked for another change, requesting the frog to hold a heart. However, I didn't like that it cut too much from the side, so I used the regenerate button. The resulting image wasn't identical, but it was quite similar, especially considering that I was guiding the process through verbal instructions, much like how one would communicate with an artist and direct them on what to paint or change. Then I wanted to generate a wide ratio, a landscape mode image, perhaps for use as a YouTube thumbnail for this video. As you can see, I also wanted to include a sign with text on it. However, the first generation misspelled the word DALL-E, so I regenerated to get another version with the correct spelling. If you don't want to spend too much time prompting, you can explore some GPT models that other people have made. By clicking on Explore GPT and then selecting the DALL-E tab, you can find a few suggestions here, or you can search for all public GPT models. I've tested a few, and let me show you a couple that I found interesting. One of them is Super Describe, in which allows you to upload an image, and it will try to generate a similar variation of that image. As you can see, the results are quite similar. Additionally, if you click on the info button, you can see the actual prompt and description, which can be useful for understanding how it works. Let's click again on Explore GPTs, and this time select the Consistent Character GPT. Here they've made it easy. You just click where it says, click here to start. It will ask you if you want a male or female character. Then it will prompt you for a name and more details about the character. Let's go with something wild, like a black ninja bunny with red eyes. When it asks you for style, it gives you 4 options, but you can also use your own style, like a watercolor painting cartoon style. From there, you can play with emotions, poses, and all kinds of things, and should get similar characters. The first one might not be so similar, but the second, third, and fourth ones should be quite similar. You can then add environments, change all kinds of things to make it look how you need it. If you found something helpful in this video, take a second from your time and hit the like button. It's free and will help me make more tutorials for you. Thank you for watching.